Hey travel fam, welcome back to Empower Your Journey, your go-to channel where travel meets financial freedom. But today, where tariffs meet turbulence. Yes, we're talking about something spicy. No, not that questionable in-flight meal. We're talking tariffs, turbulence in airfare, and the golden window of opportunity for savvy travelers. So if you're wondering why your flight to Venice is suddenly cheaper than your weekly grocery bill, buckle up because we're diving in. So first things first, what's a tariff? Tariffs, in fact, are basically taxes on imports. Think of them as the cover charge countries slap on stuff coming across borders. Countries impose these taxes on imported goods, making foreign products pricier and encouraging consumers to buy domestic. Since the beginning of April, we have heard the word tariff everywhere in the news, right? So how does this affect you, the savvy traveler? Groceries? Prices are climbing? Clothing? Yep, costs are up. Travel? Absolutely. It's caught in the crossfire. According to travel expert Peter Greenberg, international travel to the US is expected to drop by 5% this year, which might not sound like much until you realize that's a $64 billion hit to the travel industry. Yikes. But wait, it gets juicier. Did you know that tariffs equal opportunities for travelers? In just the past 6 weeks, travel to the US has plummeted by around 24%, and our neighbors up north? Canadian travelers are down a staggering 75%. That's not just a dip, it's a full-on nosedive. But here's the thing, when planes arrive in the US nearly empty, they've still got to fly back out. And guess what? They're flying out with tons of empty seats. Airlines hate empty seats. So what do? They slash prices to fill them, fast. We're not talking, oh, save $30 kind of discounts. We're talking, wait, did they forget to add a zero prices? Like New York to Venice for $441, Los Angeles to Rome round trip for $396. Let that sink in. You can't even fly from New York to Chicago for that price half the time. And that's on a budget airline without a carry-on. Or how about from Sydney to Bangkok, or Toronto to Lisbon, or even Mumbai to Istanbul? Airlines are tossing out flash sales left and right just to stay in the air. So if you've got a passport gathering dust in your drawer, if you've been craving adventure but holding back because of the cost, this is your moment. But here's where it gets even more exciting. Remember those frequent flyer miles you've been hoarding since 2020? The ones you were saving for a someday trip that never happened? This is that someday. With international travel still in flux and lots of empty seats on long-haul flights, airlines are finally releasing award inventory again. That magical phrase we never thought we'd hear again. Available for miles redemption. If you've ever searched for a flight and gotten that dreaded sorry, no reward seats available for that itinerary, check again. Seriously. It's like the golden era of loyalty points is making a comeback, if only for a little while. So whether you're eyeing a weekend in Bali, a food crawl through Paris, or a wellness retreat in Costa Rica, now's the time to pull the trigger and make those points work for you. Lesson: take advantage of the chaos and get that dream trip in before prices snap back. Because spoiler alert, they will. Okay, let's be real. Not all travel news is sunshine, palm trees, and complimentary peanuts. Yes, international fares are dropping like it's Black Friday in the skies. But domestic travel? That's a whole other story. Prices for US flights are actually climbing. Why? Because with all the global uncertainty and economic jitters, more Americans are choosing to stay close to home. Weekend getaways to Nashville, hiking trips in Utah, or a family visit to Miami suddenly feel safer and simpler than hopping across the pond. And guess what happens when demand shoots up? You got it. Airlines raise prices. Supply meet demand. So that quick flight from New York to Miami or LA to Seattle? Yeah, it might cost more than a flight to Europe right now. Wild, right? With international flights getting cheaper and domestic ones rising thanks to tariffs, would you rather snag a deal and go abroad or stay closer to home and pay more? What's your travel move in 2025? Let me know in the comments. Team Passport or Team Staycation? And it's not just flights feeling the ripple effects. This whole tariff situation is shaking up the entire travel ecosystem. Hotels, slowing down, cruise lines, feeling the chill, restaurants and tourism businesses in major US destinations, quietly starting to panic. Even big players like Royal Caribbean, who just 2 months ago were celebrating the fact that they'd already sold over 80% of their 2025 cruise inventory, are now seeing that demand start to fizzle. Why? When international travelers don't come to the US, a whole chunk of customers are gone. And when Americans decide it's cheaper to go to Bangkok than to Boston, domestic bookings take a hit too. And cruises? They're especially vulnerable. With higher fuel costs and new tariffs on imported goods, including food and supplies used on board, their margins are tightening. So if the ships aren't full, they lose big. And guess what? That's where you come in. You might start seeing deep discounts on luxury hotels and cruise packages. Not because these companies suddenly got generous, but because they're sweating bullets to keep bookings afloat. It's supply and demand, with a twist of global economic tension. If you've been dreaming of a luxury getaway but your wallet kept saying LOL, no, this could be the moment you've been waiting for. Here's your Empower Your Journey action plan. International traveler, this is your sign to grab that dusty passport and make a move. Prices to Europe, Asia, and parts of Africa are dropping for real. $200 to $500 less. This is insane. Whether you've been dreaming of the Amalfi Coast or temple hopping in Thailand, now's your moment. And those frequent flyer miles you've been hoarding since 2020, they're finally doing something useful. Airlines are actually opening up award seats again. Domestic traveler? If you're planning to stay within your own borders, especially in the US, brace yourself. Demand is high, prices are climbing, and airlines are charging accordingly. But here's the hack. Check flights from alternative airports like Burbank instead of LAX or Westchester instead of JFK. Try low-cost carriers that fly under the radar, or consider skipping the plane altogether. Road trips are back in style. Whether it's a coastal drive from Sydney to Melbourne or a fall foliage trip from New York City to Vermont, you might save money and make some unforgettable pit stops along the way. Cruise fan? Keep your eyes peeled. Cruise lines are quietly slipping in deals as they try to fill cabins and recover from the slowdown. Think upgraded staterooms, extra onboard credits, and even discounted excursions. If you've ever said, maybe I'll try a cruise someday, this is someday. Budget-conscious adventurer, this is your time. With international prices dropping and a little strategic planning, you can travel like a boss on a budget. Want to see 3 countries for the cost of one? Now's the window. Track deals, compare exchange rates, and get creative. Question of the day: if you had $500 right now, would you book a long-haul international flight or take an epic domestic road trip? Let me know, because I might just help you plan it. So yeah, tariffs might be bad for your grocery bill, but they're weirdly amazing for your travel dreams, at least for now. If you're thinking about escaping the 9-to-5, becoming location independent, or just want to hop on a plane to eat real pasta in Italy for less than the cost of dinner at Olive Garden, this might be your sign. Before you go, like this video if you found it helpful, subscribe to Empower Your Journey for weekly travel and financial freedom hacks, and drop a comment. Stay empowered, stay adventurous, and until next time, travel smart, earn more, and live free.